He said stun! It wasn't gonna hurt you! He said stun!
Welcome back to Propology 101, and today we're going to be talking about this blaster. Now, you may recognize this blaster as Princess Leia's blaster from A New Hope. This is what she was carrying and used when the stormtroopers tracked her down and captured her. This blaster in Star Wars universe is called the DCC Defender Sport Blaster. I think the idea behind it originally was Princess Leia's a high-tier person, and she wouldn't have like a military weapon. She would have a refined blaster, a blaster designed for precision and sport shooting. I think that's kind of the idea behind it. Now, Luke is also seen carrying this blaster at the end of the movie, and he's carrying it in the exact same configuration it is when Leia is using it at the beginning of the movie. The blaster is based on a Margolin MCM target pistol. They were made in Soviet Russia. These were first introduced in 1948. They first started showing up in international shooting competitions in 1954. Now, these things are kind of cool. They can be set up in all different ways to facilitate the shooter. You have pieces you can add onto it to add weight. You can change where the weight is. You can really balance it out. You can adjust trigger pull. There's a whole lot you can do with these. In the A New Hope setup, it has a barrel extension and it has a compensator. Now, you traditionally see these without the barrel extension. More commonly, we'll see it with the compensator right here where the barrel extension is screwed on. Now, in Return of the Jedi, there's no compensator on the blaster. It's just the barrel extension, and that's it. The compensator has been removed. Now, from all that I can see, these were real firearms that were used. I believe in Empire Strikes Back, they did use a resin stunt version also. I saw discussions about this because the original went to auction, and how they verified the original when it went to auction was the serial number on the screen used and screen matched stunt version matched the serial number on the hero version that went to auction. It was just one level of verification, one of several layers of verification, but de facto serial numbers matched, and the other one was 100% identified as a real screen used resin stunt version. It was very easy to validate when the actual real original hero went to sale. And that's actually the Return of the Jedi. The A&H version, we don't know what the serial number was. We don't know if it was the exact same gun that was later reused in Return of the Jedi. We don't know that. But we do know that for the most part, you see Princess Leia in A New Hope and in Return of the Jedi carrying the real one most of the time, and the stunt was pretty much a holster stuffer for when she was riding the speeder bike and doing all kinds of other stuff like that. But when there was action combat going on, she was using a blank firing hero, especially on Endor. And there's plenty of muzzle flashes that you can see to show that she was using a blank firing pistol. Now, as far as Greeblies go, the New Hope version, there's not really a lot on there. I think this blaster just looks, or this gun itself, set up like this, kind of already looks kind of cool and kind of sci-fi, so they didn't add a lot. But what they did is this right here on the front sight, this is the same button you'll find on the side of the Mir Sun Power 5. The Mir Sun Power 5 had two of them. One of them was missing its push button cap. Well, that's that same button right here. And in front of it, on the barrel extension, they have coiled up wire. Also very similar to the Mir Sun Power 5, how it had the scope and then the coil wire going back to the hammer. And in the front, we have a Greebly that we're all very familiar with, and that's the engine jugs from the Verone Hawker model plane kit. And there's two halves, a complete engine jug wrapped around, basically fitted around the compensator. On the Return of the Jedi, there's no compensator, and it's just a bare barrel extension. Although the barrel extension does kind of look kind of weird, and I've never been able to find barrel extensions on any of these. I think it's a custom piece that was added to the gun, whether it was done for a shooter before the gun ended up in production, or if it's something that was made for production to extend the barrel out, adding the compensator on the end. One thing I do know is this extension mounts on the gun the way the compensator, so it screws on and then the compensator screws on the end of the barrel extension. As far as greeblies go on the Return of the Jedi, they're added 8 square greeblies, 4 on the left side and 4 on the right side back here in the rear. Now they also added 3 of the Hawker engine jugs. They had 2 of them, one right behind the sight, and then so there was 2 of them sitting right here, butted right up against each other. Actually, if you looked at this profile, it looks exactly like the way they would have looked on the Mirsun Power 5. They were 2 of them on each side. They were like heat sinks. Well, there's 2 sitting on top, and then there's a third that's attached to the one in the front from below, and it's been cut and modified to fit around all this right here. So it's actually been shortened just a little bit. And that's it. That's all the greeblies that's on the Return of the Jedi. And like I said, there's not a whole lot on these, but it's a cool blaster, and it was in 2 of the original trilogy movies and used by 2 characters, Princess Leia and Luke Skywalker. It's a pretty cool blaster, and I thought it was worth talking about. Join us next time when we pull out another prop and see what it's made of.